This episode of Spectre Sound Studios is brought to you by Raycon.
Reaper sucks! Try Audio City!
Audio City. Is that down the road from Funky Town? Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Friday. Hope you're going to have an amazing weekend out there in lockdown land. As I'm shooting this right now, USA's not doing too good with the COVID numbers. I don't know, maybe stay home, wash your fucking hands, and wear a fucking mask! Anyway, let's get right to the questions, shall we?
Some of the videos I learned a lot from were the shootout videos. You'd take 3 or 4 cabs, mics, etc., give us a track of each piece of gear, not sharing which was until you had the audience a week or so to decide what is best. Have you done those real amps versus Sims yet?
I think I might have done that in one of my very first earliest videos, which was Axe Effects versus the real deal. You know, we've got a stack full of amps here at the studio, and I'm sure we could do that. I think that'd be really cool. If this hasn't aired yet, I know I shot the Pod Go out against some real amps and was kind of impressed with the results we got. I gotta say, in 2020, amp sims are starting to get real good, real quick. I'm very impressed.
Glenn, I know this is irrelevant, but I really need your help. As a teenager, is there anything I prepare myself of before I move into the real world and the music industry? Tech tips, do's and don'ts, etc. Anything will help. Fuck you very much. Have a nice day.
Yes, get a degree in computer science from an accredited university where people will recognize that degree and go get a fucking job program, because that's what the world needs. We need coders. You want to go in the music industry, get into film sound, like doing dialogue work or Foley work, that kind of thing, editing sound for film. There's where lots of jobs are. The recording thing is happening in people's homes now. The commercial studio is going bye-bye. You can make great sounding records from your bedroom these days. The world doesn't need more audio engineers. We need people who can make movies though, so maybe look into that.
Hey Glenn, where can I buy Harley Benton cabinets in Canada? That's not in the pain in the ass. P.S. Fuck you.
Now, I'm shooting this like second week of July of 2020. I usually shoot these a couple weeks ahead. And as far as I know, DHL, which is Thoman's carrier to North America, still isn't shipping anything here because of the whole pandemic. So I just say, be patient. Yes, I get it, it's kind of a pain, but it will be worth the wait. I love the Harley Benton cabs, especially that vertical offset one. It's so cool. Import fees aren't really that bad into Canada. I did an experiment there a couple of years ago where I had a 2x12 shipped in. Yeah, no issues whatsoever. Threw a bunch of extra stuff in there and it was all the one low shipping fee. Can't wait to do that again. Hopefully things open up, at least as far as shipping is concerned, and we can get that rolling, because I know there's some really cool Harley Benton guitars in their Pro Series that are out for like metal guitar players that are really fucking cool. We haven't done this in a while. Here's a video question.
Hey Glenn, my name's Oscar. I recently recorded a rough drum track and I wasn't too thrilled with the final product. I sent it to a bunch of friends of mine, including one guy who has a recording studio, and they all liked it. Should I quit obsessing over the drums and move on to the next part of the song, or should I re-record the drums? Oh, and fuck you, Glenn, from New York City.
Yeah, move the fuck on. You know what? You want to get better at recording drums? Do it your next project. I mean, recording and re-recording and re-recording and re-recording really doesn't make things all that better. I mean, like, look at what Megadeth did to some of their songs. Yeah, just because you think you're going to do it better doesn't necessarily mean you are going to do it better. The trick is to move on from project to project and try and get better on project to project. Don't give up, just keep moving forward. Good luck, dude.
Glenn, I much prefer the WGS Veteran 30 in my Marshall over the Celestion Vintage 30s and my Blackstar S1 Pro 4x12 cabinet. The WGS V30 is much tighter and more precise. The Celestions just seem way too flabby. I'm tempted to try the Hesu Demons as well. I've heard great things as well. Can't decide what I want to put in my Blackstar cab when I upgrade them. Have you ever tried the Hesu Demon speakers? Thanks.
No, I've not, but I would really like to try them. I watched Ola demo those a while back and I thought they were really fucking cool. So if anybody at Hesu is watching this, yes, I would love to try out your speakers. I'm really happy to hear that you're digging the WGS Veteran 30. I mean, like, Lancaster Audio did the official WGS set, and those are all available from the Lancaster Audio site as well as WGS speakers. I think they're a wonderful alternative to the Vintage 30, and they're stocked in the rev cabinets like from the factory. They're just awesome speakers. They've got a whole line, and they've got a new line called Empyrean that's come out, and I might have already done a video or two on those speakers because I think they're pretty fucking cool. Unfortunately, with the whole lockdown thing, we're timing things so when they get production back up to speed, I can put those out and you guys can check them out and hear how great they are. In the meantime, yeah, I would definitely recommend trying out different speaker brands. It all comes back to what I was saying last week where, once upon a time, guitar players were trying different things so they didn't sound like everybody else. It'd be super cool if we could try that again, because I think that's when we started pushing our limits and started doing really cool things. Don't be afraid to break out of the mode and find your own sound. All right, everybody, this episode is brought to you by Raycon. They sent me this set of everyday E25 earbuds to check out, which I've got in right now. And I gotta say, they're super comfortable. You can listen to them for hours on end and they don't get fatiguing or anything like that, which is great because I'm into podcasts and audiobooks. And of course, I'm using them as a real world system to check my mixes out on. Now, these things have a ton of bass, probably the most bass I've ever heard in a set of earbuds. In fact, I actually had to turn it down a little bit, right at about 150 hertz by about 3 dBs. But yeah, if you want skull-crushing bass in a set of earbuds, these definitely deliver the goods. I really like the fact that they pair up super easy with my phone, which is great because Bluetooth usually hates me and I'm usually scratching my head. Why the hell doesn't this work? This was a no-brainer to get going, so big thumbs up on that. These things start at about half the price of the competition, but we'll match them in sound quality. And what's really great is if you follow the link in the description below, you can get a 15% discount on the price. Head on over to buyraycon.com/Spectre Sound Studios and get yours today. Now back to the show.
Literally every single question is answered with product shilling. Come on, man. One thing is product sponsorship, another is being this blatant. Put me in the butthurt of the week if you feel like it, but if you're doing this way too much lately.
Hey, Danny. Once again, I said this last week. I used to get reamed out for doing product sponsorship, so we developed some of our own products and decided to sell those instead. I thought that would be cool, especially because we were selling lessons on recording guitar. I mean, like advanced lessons. Obviously, I've got a ton of free tutorials on here about recording guitar, recording drums, mixing stuff, EQs, compressors, you fucking name it. It's all on here. The super long, super in-depth premium lessons are available over on ProMixAcademy.com. And I thought you guys would be cool with that, especially stupid amp sim text was not stupid musician text, by the way, but it's just some ridiculous comments that people made about amp sims that me and Scott had a lot of fun answering. The whole evil plan behind all this is so I could fund Fearless Gear Reviews independently and keep those independent gear reviews coming to you guys without any corporate fuckery whatsoever. ProMix Academy has made that successful, and I'm going to be doing at minimum one Fearless Gear Review every single month for the rest of the year. Maybe two if I can pull it off. The end game there for all that quote-unquote product shilling was so I can make better reviews for you guys. So sorry about that.
All you do is plug shit now. Boring.
Well, I'm shooting this on the same day I released my video on reverb.com yanking up their fees. So if you didn't miss that one, the short story is, yeah, go to eBay because it's cheaper to sell stuff on there now than Reverb is. That, and I imagine I'm going to be doing a stupid musician text real soon.
Bruh, don't be so negative about other DAWs. Makes you seem less genuine, and you guys are genuine. If what you're offering is good, people will buy it. All the best, fellas.
I don't have a problem with other DAWs, not at all. Cubase is cool. Logic is cool, I guess, for you Mac guys. I've never actually used Logic. I've heard some good things about it. If it works, it works. Great. I like Reaper because it's super customizable, but I like learning a lot of different systems. I've done some stuff with Studio One on the show. I just got a license for the new Cubase. I want to try that out. 10.5. 10 was really cool. I want to see what the differences are in 0.5. Maybe they got rid of some of the blower. Yeah, right. Seriously though, I like Harrison Mixbus. I've got a license for that. I got to try out as well. Harrison Mixbus is really great, especially if you're mixing large projects because you can just whip through it like no tomorrow and just get some absolutely amazing results. It's a fucking fantastic system to work on. Definitely worth checking out. I don't hate other DAWs at all, just maybe Pro Tools because it's so fucking archaic at this point. Other than that, yeah, if you're happy with what you're working on and gets you results you want, use that.
Hey Glenn, serious question. I see a lot of YouTube videos about mixing on studio monitors versus headphones. I know that the goal for using studio monitors or phones is to achieve as flat an EQ as possible. I'm also not made of money, so I'm finding the prices for studio monitors ridiculously high for what look like pretty ordinary speakers. I discovered the SonarWorks software, and apparently they will calibrate any speakers or phones for flat EQ to studio work. Does it work? Does calibrate any speaker automatically with flat EQ? I won't even need expensive monitors, right? Thanks in advance, and go fuck yourself. Glenn R. from Christchurch, New Zealand.
We got a set of Calis here, the LP6s, which are about $300 for the pair, and they're powered, so yeah, definitely not super expensive. As far as bang for the buck monitors, you cannot go wrong with the Cali LP6s. I'd recommend them and the SonarWorks together because the LP6s are designed to be flat, and the SonarWorks stuff will work with them in conjunction with your room to flatten things out that much more. Home stereo speakers are designed to make the music sound sweeter, so they're not really a good place to make mixing decisions on. I'm sorry, I mean, like, that's the question we all ask ourselves when we're first starting out. Then we get our first set of studio monitors, we go, oh, I get it now. Don't be afraid to invest in a decent set of monitors, because ultimately, you're just investing in yourself. Good luck, my friend.
Hey Glenn, is it possible to record drums with just one condenser mic? My band is on a tight budget and can't afford a full drum mic kit or acoustic treatment for the room. So if there's any method you would use, would it be a mic kit with one mic? Would it be?
Yeah, I know that kind of budget. That's the zero budget. We don't have any money because the drummer blew everything on wheat. Can you do it with one mic? Yes. You'll probably sound like a 50s Elvis recording because that's what they did back in Sun Record those days, threw one mic up in front of the drums and kind of put it in the best spot and away you go. You gotta have a great drummer though who really knows how to play the kit and doesn't beat the shit out of the cymbals, a little bit heavier on the drums, and that takes a lot of finesse. It's possible. Are you gonna like the results? Probably not. You know, any mic should do, but I'd probably start with a condenser mic if you're doing that. But I'd recommend checking out my video on the Glyn Johns technique where you can get some pretty good results with 3 mics or 4 mics. That would be my suggestion. Ultimately, you want to get the most amount of mics that you can. Samson makes a pretty decent or bargain bin drum mic set for under $200 or $250, something like that. Probably worth taking a look at. That's my suggestion anyway.
Legit, how much does it cost to get a Solar shipped over here to the US?
Well, because it's through Thomann, I don't know if they're actually shipping anything at this point, so it's a great big question mark at this point. Does anybody know what's going on with Solar when it comes to their American distribution, where to get them, that kind of thing? I'll admit, I am not the expert here. I got to play that V there a couple weeks back and fucking loved it. It was such a cool guitar. What are you guys doing to get your Solars into the US? Please leave a comment below. Help a guy out. Let's find out.
Is that Pro Tools behind you?
I'm shooting viewers' comments a few weeks in advance, and I did that reverb.com video there. And just to save on time, I was using Warren's Pro Tools rig to record my monologue. Got my mic up here. We're using a Soyuz. It's not quite an Octava, but it's a Soyuz, another Russian condenser mic just off screen. It's really cool. We're going through Warren's BAE 1073. I think we're going DBX 160 VU and an 1176. Into Reaper today. We got my Slick Audio PC working away back there. We got things hooked up. We're going through the Audient ID4 as an interface. So that's the chain there. Like I said, I shot that other piece last night and we used Pro Tools just for convenience, just because I wanted to get something up and shipped. Because I did that one with the teleprompter and, you know, there was a bit of screwing around trying to get the teleprompter tweaked out. You always have that, trying to get the height right, the angle right, and all that shit. So I didn't want to fuck too much with the audio. I just like, here, we'll record it on your rig. Give me a fucking USB stick at the end of the shoot, and then I've got my monologue. So that's how that worked. We're going to be tweaking this room out. We're going to be tweaking out the drum room and a room in the house over the next few weeks. And it's going to be some cool videos. And because we're going to be sharing the space on a number of fronts. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. Warren and I, of course, work together with Lancaster Audio. And we've got a bunch of other stuff coming together. Again, some Pro Mix Academy projects and just a few other things. We really work well together. So we've decided to do that. Hopefully, we're going to get him to guest on the show when we start reviewing the Oldies But Baddies entries. I'm really looking forward to that. He's always a lot of fun and just a phenomenal guitar player. Far better than he lets on. So hopefully we'll get him to play some guitar as well. Of course, if you guys want to get notified about that, make sure you hit the fucking subscribe button. It just helps.
Maybe the best thing about Reaper, other than its ease of use, is that it really makes you realize how DAWs essentially all do the same thing. Reaper just really streamlines the experience and extremely efficient and well optimized.
Yep, that's the thing. The whole point of a DAW is to get sound to come out of the speakers and load up a bunch of tracks. I'm like, certain things have certain editing systems and key combinations and whatnot. And the great thing about Reaper is you can tweak out exactly how you want. And that's its greatest strength, in my opinion.
Hey Glenn, I'm having trouble getting Reaper to detect my Waves plugins, Waves PRS Supermodels. How do you consolidate your plugin files so Reaper easily detects them?
Well, you go into your settings and you make sure it's pointed at the right folder. And I don't think you do have that. You can like add that. You need to go, if you're on Windows, I think it's program files in your x64 directory, and then go to Waves. They'll be in there, not in your VST folder. If you're still lost, hit up the guys at Waves. That's their job to do the tech support there. And if you're still confused, hit up the Reaper forum. There are a good bunch of dudes in there, and they should probably be able to help you out. The first thing I'm going to tell you is, read the forum, but hopefully somebody won't be a dick and actually point you in the right direction. That being said, do you guys want to see a tutorial on installing plugins and how to point them to Reaper? I mean, obviously that's not going to blow up my YouTube numbers, but hopefully it'll help somebody somewhere.
Glenn, let me get that IR of the cab/mic/chain through Lancaster. Don't be a shitlord. Get in on it. I got cash.
Are you talking about the OC818 demo I did a few weeks back where we got that big-ass Metallica sound? All I can say at this point is great things are afoot at the Circle K. I think you're going to like what's coming up.
Hey Glenn, I recently read an article that said the song Turbo Lover by Judas Priest used a drum machine. Do you have any input on this? I know it's not their most popular song, but I just wanted to see what you had to say. Thanks and fuck you.
Actually, that whole album, Turbo, was drum machines everywhere, and same with the follow-up album, Ram It Down, that had drum machines all over the place too. And the thing about those records, they sound very 80s and very dated. They don't sound like real drums at all, so I don't listen to them very much. You want to hear an amazing drum recording? Go put on a British Steel that had classics like Breaking the Law, Living After Midnight, Metal Gods, The Rage. The drum sound on that record was phenomenal because they recorded it in Ringo Starr's foyer, his front room, with his stairs and all that kind of shit. It was just, they had such an amazing sound in that room, and they never got that drum sound ever since. Another great drum sound was on the record Point of Entry. Just phenomenal drum sound there as well. And that's the great thing about those records. Those records are fucking timeless because they captured a wonderful human performance. Drum sounds are great, and I can still reference those to this day and go, damn, those are fucking great. I wish I could get my drums to sound that good. And that is 40 years after those records have been released. They've set the standard, the gold standard that we should all be trying to achieve in our own home recordings.
Hey Glenn, starting recording at home. What mic do you recommend for recording bass amps? Does the SM57 work well for bass as well as guitar, or is it only good for the guitar? Thanks.
Well, that's a great thing about bass. You don't necessarily have to mic an amp. You can go direct and then use some awesome plugins like the Mammoth bass from Aurora DSP. That thing's absolutely killer, and it's only $39. If you've got an instrument input on your interface, like most of them do these days, you can go that route, and you're going to get something awesome. That being said, if you want to mic a bass cab, that's great. I'd recommend a large diaphragm condenser, like even $99 for one, like say a Rode or something like that. Maybe I'll find some affiliate links I can put in Sweetwater for that and just give you some recommendations. I just can't think of anything off the top of my head. $200, look at the Rode stuff. That'd work really well. The SM7B is always a great choice for bass guitar. Sennheiser MD421. And I just got this not too long ago. If you've got the money, this is the FET47 clone from United Audio. This thing's absolutely stellar on bass cabs. This is about $750 though, but it is absolutely incredible. This is the sound of awesome records right here. You want one of these, save your pennies. It's going to be worth it. And it's great on a number of things other than just bass guitar. It's great on vocals, acoustic guitar. Haven't tried it out on metal guitar cabs yet. Want to give it a shot, see how it works out. Seriously, look, badass microphone. I understand $750 might seem like a lot of money until you price out a real Neumann FET47, and then you go, oh, okay, that is a bargain. All right, everybody, that's it for this episode. I'd just like to thank each and every one of you for hitting that fucking subscribe button. You guys absolutely rule. Please feel free to leave a comment or a question if it can help out the show in any way. I will definitely put it on. Anyway, leave something below because I want to hear from you. And until next time, praise Crom and crush your enemies.